So when I first picked up this SUV for around $6,000, I really didn't know what was going to happen. I was thinking, okay, if it makes a couple $100s a month, then it's something I'd be happy with. And what happened with this car, it really blew me away. And to give you guys an idea, I mean, I wasn't really a car guy. I didn't grow up like changing rotors or tires or knowing anything about transmissions. Really, the reason why I got into this, probably like a lot of you guys watching, is I saw an opportunity for freedom really from cars like this. I was thinking, okay, if I could get a couple of these, they bring me in some passive income of a couple $100s a month, then maybe it's something that would make sense. So stick around, because just in a few minutes, I'm gonna show you exactly how this $6,000 car was able to make way more money than I expected. So fast forward to today, I'm the largest Turo host in Pittsburgh. And to be honest with you guys, it didn't start that way. When I first started, cars got totaled, transmissions blew out. Even some guests, they returned some vehicles and they looked like they went through a war zone. So what I really want to go over in this video is, okay, what separates people that quit in the first 90 days or people that can actually get up to $10,000 a month? And look, to tell you guys, I almost quit myself in the first 90 days. So I'm going to show you how do we really get past some of these challenges that hurt people in the beginning. And to tell you, it's not like I came into this from a super special background. I didn't have a ton of investors. This is something, again, where I saw an opportunity. I'm like, okay, I'll throw a couple thousand at it and really see what it could turn into. And that's what we're going to go over in this video, which is, okay, can Turo actually work with a vehicle like this that costs a couple $1,000s? Now, let's talk about this video, or let's talk about this car specifically, which is a 2017 Equinox. So the purchase price of this vehicle was $6,368. After everything that goes into the vehicle, total cost or total price of it to get in was $8,824. Car had about 95,000 miles on it, and the book value of it was $10,400. Yeah, $10,400. Now, I know most of you looking at this car would be like, that car's old. It has too many miles on it. Peter, why wouldn't you just buy a nicer car that would probably make you more money and it looks way better? Now, this is why I say cars like this are a hidden gem. Because most people watching think that you need the flashy cars or you need newer cars to make money. And that's not necessarily the case. And why I like vehicles like this, these economy cars, is because it appeals to everybody. It appeals to the locals. It appeals to people traveling. Literally anybody that's just looking for a general car to get them from point A to point B that's not super expensive. That's what this vehicle actually does. And that's why I call these cars hidden gems, because while most people are thinking, okay, I need a Tesla, I need a BMW, I need a Mercedes, they're missing the opportunity with cars like this that, again, it only costs around $6,000. And I'm excited to get into what were the actual returns of it to give you guys an idea. Yeah, so getting into the returns, really the thing that blew me away with this car. So paid $6,000, it brought in over $13,000 worth of revenue in the first year. And I know you guys watching this are probably thinking, okay, Peter, revenue's something, but what did you actually make on this? What was the profit? And that's what we're going to be going into. So first 30 days of this vehicle being rented. I know a lot of you probably look at this and you're like, okay, does this business make sense? Will the car even rent? So month one of me renting this vehicle, it rented out for 23 out of 30 days in the month. And I think a big basically a mistake that a lot of hosts make when they first start out, and a reason why their vehicle doesn't rent, is because they try to overprice the vehicle to make as much money as possible. In my perspective of it when I started is that it's like, why don't we take it easy? We don't really need profitability on day one. So I made the price of this car around 15% lower than what the actual market had. And the reason why is because I'm like, okay, I want to get reviews on my profile. I want people to actually see that it's renting out and for other people to see that there's a positive experience with this vehicle, so that they would want to book it out as well. So for this car in particular, I listed it for around like it was $39 a day to be exact. And to give you guys some more context on why we price vehicles a little bit lower in the beginning, because once you do have reviews, those reviews are going to build trust, and it actually builds trust on two different fronts. The first thing is that when other people that are looking to rent vehicles look at your car, they go to your profile, they're going to see positive reviews. People are more likely to rent from somebody that has a ton of 5-star reviews as opposed to somebody that has a lot of 3-star reviews. And on the other front, so it builds trust with your customers. Second front, you're also building trust with Turo. So now Turo's seeing, okay, this is a host that actually cares about his vehicle. He's getting good maintenance reviews, good overall reviews, good communication. Turo's seeing that, and now that's also going to boost your car up in the algorithm. Now, before I break down the actual expenses of this vehicle and the profitability, I know a lot of you are watching this and you're thinking, I don't really want to go through all the trial and error that Peter's talking about in this video that he had to go through of dealing with guest complaints and cars getting totaled. If you're really looking for help with growing your business, then that's why we built Car Rental Coach. And basically, if you're thinking that you'd want some help, go to our website. If you scroll down, there's a quick little survey to fill out. If you're qualified, we'll analyze your market and see if this business actually makes sense. And if it is, maybe there's a way that we can help you. So let's get into what is the actual profitability of this vehicle first 30 days of it being rented. So month one, it brought in $1,041. And I'm going to go over some of the expenses and give you guys a little bit of background into what they look like. So the first thing is insurance. You need to get off rental insurance for this vehicle so that it's covered when it's not on Turo. That runs at around $89 a month. Second thing is a car wash subscription. I recommend cleaning the vehicle after every trip, running it through a quick car wash. Now, you can get a subscription on average around the country, I'm seeing between $20 to $40. Ours in particular for this is about $20 a month. And I can run this car through the wash as many times as I want for that $20. Probably might run it, I'd say, yeah, like 5 or 6 times a month. So if that was $10 every time, running 50, 60 bucks, getting in at 20, saving me a little bit of money there. Now, this is not something that everybody does. We do run this as a business and we try to be as conservative as possible. So we set aside $100 per month per vehicle for maintenance. We'll say fuel costs, just topping the vehicle off, making sure it's good. That's around $30 a month. So now the total expenses for this vehicle were $239, which leaves us with $802 in profit per month. Now, think about it this way. 13% of the car's purchase price was paid off in the first month alone. And by the end of the year, the results shocked me even more. So at the end of the year, car again brought in $13,061 worth of revenue. Total expenses on this vehicle were $3,108. That leaves us with $9,959 in profit. So let's go back to the original numbers of it. I paid $6,368 for this vehicle. Total investment of $8,824. Year one, I made $9,953 net. That means that this vehicle paid itself back in a year and gave me profit. How many things can you say that in business where you get a full return in a year from your investment and now you're making profit after that? And let me share you guys kind of the other perspective on this. So I actually had a friend that got into this business around the same time as me. I got a car like this. He bought a car that, so this is an Equinox, right? 2017 Equinox. He bought, it was a brand new Equinox at the time, which I believe was a 2020. Paid around like, it was between 25 to 30,000 for that car. Now the crazy thing is that both of our cars in the first month, his car brought in a little bit more. So mine brought in, yeah, 1,041. He brought in $1,100. So he paid significantly more money for a car that only brought in around $60 more a month. Now you do the math. Does that make sense to get that newer car that's depreciating and costs significantly more, and you probably have a payment unless you want to shell out $25,000 to $30,000? Or you could get a car like this, we'll say $8,000 just to be fair, because that is all in, for $8,000 that virtually brings in the same amount. It's basically a no-brainer to get a car of this nature. Now, let me give you guys an idea, right? where do I find these hidden gems? And I'll give you the hidden gem formula. So for cars like this, you typically want to buy between 15 to 20% below market value. And you want to look for versatility when you're buying these cars, right? Cars that are going to work in multiple use cases. Would it work for somebody coming into town for business? Would it work for a family? Would it work for somebody that's going on a road trip? Would it work for just for a local whose car maybe got into an issue and they need a car to bop around town? And also, this is a big thing that a lot of people don't do, and it's building systems from day one, such as automated messaging, such as lock boxes, such as car wash passes that I was telling you about. When you build these things from the beginning, way easier to grow with these systems as opposed to when you get up to 10 cars, then trying to insert the systems while you're running the business at the same time. It's way harder. And the problem is that most people skip that third step because it's that old procrastination thing. Oh, I'll do it later. It's not that important. But if you start out doing things the right way easier to stay on the right path than to go on the wrong path and then try to institute all of these systems, right? So to tell you guys a quick story, for me, and this is why I'm a big fan of systems, because I didn't build them into my fleet until we were around like 5 cars. When I first started, look, we had the cars, I'm meeting people at midnight to give them the keys, I'm messaging people at all hours of the day. It literally made me want to quit the business because it didn't make sense. I'm like, I'm spending all this time. Yeah, I'm making a little bit of money, but when I put those systems in, it actually was a breath of fresh air. I'm like, wow, I can scale to 10 cars. I can scale to 20 cars. It actually made me feel like it could be a reality. Now, let's talk about some of the mistakes that people make in the business. First one I would say is overpricing too early. So trying to squeeze that profit out of the beginning instead of getting your reviews and getting your profile in order. Second thing is skipping systems. Okay, we just spoke about that a little bit. The third thing, which you would be surprised to see, but this is critical for anybody that's starting, or even if you're in the business, don't ignore your expenses. Get a bookkeeping software, or if you don't want that, you can even put it into an Excel sheet. But you must know your numbers to a T. The way that I told you guys, okay, insurance is this, car wash is this, maintenance is this. If you don't know your numbers, then how do you know if it even makes sense to scale your business? Because let's say that I bought this car and the net profit was only $100 a month. Well, if the net profit is only $100 a month and I'm only making $1,200 a year, well, how does that make sense? Now we're talking it's going to take, what, 5 years before I get a return on investment? Wouldn't make as much sense. That is why it is absolutely critical that you have your numbers. Ton of bookkeeping softwares out there. I like QuickBooks with no endorsement. It's my favorite. Or again, if you don't want to pay for a software, use Excel, but make sure you have your expenses in order so you know if you're actually profitable. Last mistake that people make is that they think that just because a car is more expensive, that means that it's going to perform more. Now you're probably asking, Peter, how do I actually look at my market, do the market research? I can link a couple different videos that we made that shows you how to do so, but make sure that you know what kind of numbers that a car will produce before you go out and spend money on it. And look, if you avoid these mistakes, you're ahead of 90% of people starting. But let me talk about the biggest mistake that can wipe you out overnight, which is insurance. And let me be very clear with you guys, when it comes to insurance, it's not a matter of, oh, well, you know, it's something that might happen. My car might get a fender bender, it might get totaled. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. It is a part of the business. We have a fleet now of over 40 cars. Accidents do happen, and they happen pretty consistently. So the question is how do you be prepared for this? Well, now when accidents happen, we have a system for how we deal with Turo's team. They cut us a check, which is why we try to buy the cars below market value. So when something does happen, hopefully we break even on the cars. Now, personally, to give you guys an idea, you're probably thinking, okay, what plan do you run on Turo? I run on the 80 plan. It has the $750 deductible. I think it's kind of the sweet spot between what is the vehicle, how is the vehicle going to be protected, and also the deductible makes sense on that front. Now, if you structure this the right way, and again, buying these vehicles is critical at that 15 to 20% off, then when you do have an insurance problem or a total loss, you want to break even on these vehicles. You do not want it to be that you're in the hole because you didn't buy them the right way. Okay, now to give you guys a little bit of an idea, what does this look like when you're actually renting vehicles? Listen, I've had some crazy things happen with guests. I've had some cars being returned spotless with a full tank of gas. In other cars, they were trashed. There were fries in the back seat. It was smelling a little bad. The car looked like it went through a war zone, to say the least. Like, some of these cars get beat up. But here's the truth. The good outweighs the bad in these cars. And the key for that, when your vehicle does get trashed, you can actually get a cleaning fee. How do you get the cleaning fee? Take a ton of pictures. I recommend between really like 50 to 60 pictures of the vehicle before and after, so that you can be fairly compensated if you do have to spend your time actually cleaning the vehicle. So here's the bottom line with this vehicle. Purchase price of it was $6,368. All in, again, was $8,824. Total revenue, $13,061, which made my net profit $9,953. Paid back itself in the entire year and gave me profit. And look, is luck involved in business? Yes. Did me basically instituting systems, buying the car the right way, making sure that we had the proper documentation all the time, checking key metrics every month, does that also play a role into increasing my luck? Of course it does. You must have a proper system in play to be able to make money from this business. And look, you can do this one of two ways. Way number one is you can figure out how to do these systems through trial and error, just like I did. And I've spent a lot of time, effort, and money figuring out these systems. Or on the other end, you can work with somebody that can give you these systems. That's what we're here for with Car Rental Coach. Right now, over 95% of our clients are successful and they're happy with it. If you are looking to skip the problems, go to the website. It's there in the description. Fill out the survey. So let's say you're qualified. What does this look like? Me or my team will get on a call with you. We'll analyze your market. We'll see if this even makes sense. If it does make sense, I'll run through your goals with you to see if they're realistic for this business. If it does, then maybe you could save yourself some time. It would have saved me 5 years to be exact. Hopefully it can save you some significant time as well, but hopefully that helps, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.